Hey guys, today's video is a bit different because we actually had a request for this one, so let's get straight into it. It's Hello Kitty Roller Rescue. Some games just scream charm from the moment you put the disc in the machine and start them up. Hello Kitty Roller Rescue is one of those games. It's not a game that everyone will like, but then again, it's clearly not going for the middle ground. This is a game that knows its audience and is pandering to them directly. Who are this game's audience? Young girls, there's no question about it. Oh, and some adults who are into kawaii, but only if they're also accepting of games that will not challenge them in the slightest. The PlayStation 2 had a strong library of kid-friendly games. It was the console that had something for everyone after all. Not all the kid-friendly games were great, in fact most of them were poor to say the least, but Hello Kitty Roller Rescue manages to be decent enough for what it is. The game is well designed, the character models are very nicely put together, and the whole thing oozes charm. If you're a fan of Sanrio's designs, you'll find a lot to like here. But if you're not a fan of overly saccharine lovey-dovey girly stuff, then you'll want to steer clear, because this thing is so sugar-coated it could give you diabetes just from looking at it. The plot is suitably ridiculous. A bunch of geometric invaders have landed in Sanrio Town, and they will stop at nothing to take over. It's up to Kitty White and her band of friends to take back the town, which she will do by choosing her outfits, strapping on some roller skates, and beating the living crap out of all the geometric guys, initially with a wand, but later with a mallet. One of these things is not like the other things. If you're like me, you'll be wondering where all this violence came from. Now, I get that Sanrio Town is being invaded, and the inhabitants need to fight back, but my goodness, it's weird. It's just weird to see Hello Kitty and friends beating the snot out of people. Yeah, sure, the writers have made all the enemies robots, but even then, it's still weird. So, putting the incongruous gameplay mechanics aside, what have we got for the players? Well, the game is split into 16 levels, which is about 8 more levels than I was expecting when I first played this thing, to be fair, with a boss fight on every third level, plus another boss fight as the final level. Each boss fight is an imaginative set piece that's actually quite fun, and most of them are different to the rest of them, so that's actually very enjoyable. Outside of the boss fights, we have traditional 3D platforming action, with a few keys to find to progress through the various parts of the levels. Each one is set around the usual things that you'd find in a generic kids show town: a street, a shop, a fairground, that kind of thing. Despite the mundane level themes, each level is clearly laid out and nicely detailed, in a style that's oddly reminiscent of the almost cartoony art style from something like World of Warcraft, albeit with a heavy coat of Mr. Men paint on it. All the Sanrio characters are really well designed, and they all look absolutely right to my eye. Now, I'll admit my knowledge of Sanrio characters basically begins and ends with Hello Kitty herself, because despite my love of Japan, I am still a goth at heart, so if you spot anything wrong with these character models, let me know in the comments section. From where I'm sitting, it looks like the developers put a hell of a lot of effort into getting these characters to look, move, and sound just right. The game is short. It clocks in at between 2 and 2.5 hours to complete, although if you want to 100% it, you'll be in there for a lot longer, because you'll need to collect enough coins to unlock all the cinematics, all of the music, and all of the character profiles, plus you'll need to beat up enough special enemies to unlock the special costumes, and you'll need to play in multiplayer enough to unlock the special third weapon. Yes, this game has a multiplayer mode. It's a few levels where you get to play with a second player. I didn't do any of that, however, because after 2.5 hours of gameplay, I have to admit the game was starting to wear thin for me. I played this game back when the PS2 was still the console of the day, and it was a nice distraction before I passed it on to my nieces, but when I came back to play it again for this review, it started to get old for me after about level 4. So, in the end, it's one for the children and Hello Kitty fans only, unless you're looking for a short, simple game that can distract you for an afternoon without being too taxing. So there you are. This really is a children's game and for young children, but it's got a lot of style and a lot of charm to it. It looks pretty good, and actually it's very responsive and a lot of fun to play. I'm surprised. but it is a kids game, so it can take you 2 to 2.5 hours to play all the way through it, depending on whether you're going for full collections of coins on levels or whether you're just storming through the story mode. And there is a story. It's actually it's a children's program. What can I say? So it's fun enough. It'll distract you for an hour or two, and that's all you can ask for it. It's a budget game, really, and yeah, there you go. It's one of those where I picked it up just because it looked really, really cute, and I thought my nieces might like it, and yeah, I think they did. So it did its job. That's all I can say on that one. It is a bit of an oddity, but there you go. Was requested, so we did it. If you have a request and I've got it here, then yeah, sure, we'll do a review. Leave your requests in the comments section below. But until next time, I've been Zoe Kirk-Robinson. You've been watching GameHammer Dailies on the Knob Mouse channel. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you tomorrow.